Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into another edition of Laker Connections, your home for all things Laker sports. I'm Brian Rudman.
And I'm Aaron Valentino.
We'll start with this week in Laker sports. Aaron and I will break down all the highlights from the past week in Oswego State sports. Aaron, why don't you start us off on the ice?
Yeah, let's take a trip down to the wheelhouse where the Oswego State women's hockey team took on the Cortland Red Dragons. There you see the Oswego State women's team. They're getting ready to face off against the Dragons. We're going to start in the first period. Rondazzo, she kicks it off to Stewart in the corner, and then she's just going to dump it off to Amber Thomas, the new HL Player of the Week, puts the Lakers up 1-0. Then in the second, it's Randazzo from the blue line on the power play, scores, makes it 2-0 in the second. And then in the third, the Lakers are going to tack on one more, a little tic-tac-toe from Thomas to Shines, and then Gustafson with the goal. The Lakers are up 3-0, but it will all start to fall apart from here. Cortland, they would get one goal, and here's their second. Driving in, dumps it off there, and in the crease, it's going to be Emily King. She's going to score, and it's a 3-2 game with just a few minutes left. Then Cortland, they tie it up. It's going to be Grace Schooner on the rebound, and the Red Dragons tie this game. It goes to overtime. 4 seconds left in overtime. Lakers on the power play, and Cortland just kicks it away. The Lakers, they fall to 3-2-1 on the year as this one comes to a tie, 3-3. So, Brian, what happened to the Lakers in that last game?
Well, look, they played a really good first 50 minutes of hockey. Unfortunately for them, they had to play for 60. They had this game, and there's really no reason they should have blown this one. They were in control of the game for the entire way until they started giving up those goals. They dominated the shot battle. They controlled things in the face-off circle. So really, there's no reason why they should have blown this. I think they just got to, they weren't as sharp down the stretch as they should have been.
Yeah, they just seemed to get a little bit lazy at the end of that third period, which kind of surprised me a little bit. And you can't do that against anyone, but you can't do it against the conference rival, and you can't do it against Cortland, who is the second best team in the new HL. This is a game they have to win, and they should have won. And this could have given them a big booster for them in the new HL standings. Diane Dillon and Coach Digby are not happy.
Yeah, you lost a big point there with the tie, unfortunately, and that's really a point you didn't want to lose. Switching now to the hardwood, let's take a look at what went down in the Max Zeal Gymnasium on Wednesday night. Oswego State women's basketball taking on the Canton Kangaroos, and the Lakers would get it going early. Started the game on an 11-0 run. You see Morgan Wallen in there in traffic getting the layup to go. The Lakers would continue this in the second quarter as their full court press going to force a turnover, and Ramatule C. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Finally gets the layup to go. Lakers are rolling. They get the offense going in multiple ways. Here's Taylor Torsha in the lane, little scoop layup. Very nice move right there, and the Lakers would keep it going. Now, some nice passing for the Lakers. We saw this all day long. Going to find Wallen in the lane again for the layup. They head to halftime with a 39-6 lead, and in the second half, they'd get it going. Encarnacion, 4-3, drains it. Lakers would keep it going. Now on the fast break, Aaron Gantley finds Sierra Fleming for the layup, and now Lakers just going to put the icing on the cake now. Late in the game, they're going to find Lila McHale Carter 4-3. She's going to drain that one. Lakers go on to win 64-25. C led the way with 16 points. Lakers have now won 2 games in a row. So, Aaron, what did we see out of the Lakers in last night's dominant victory?
Well, they went into this one. They knew they were better than Ken, and they did what they had to do. It was great games overall from pretty much everyone. Taylor Torsha, finding her three-point rhythm last night. She was 0 for 11 going into this one. She went 3 for 6 last night, so that could be a huge, boost to the rest of the way to go to kind of get the Lakers shooting going. Another thing I want to point out, Encarnacion, she went 1 for 18 last night. That can't happen against any team, let alone Ken. But this is a Ken team that's scoring less than 30 points per game their last 3 games. And the Oswego State Lakers were better. They went in, did their job, and got the win.
Yeah, at the end of the day, great game for the Lakers. They got that second win on the season, matching their win total from last year. Great step in the right direction. This is obviously a team that struggled last year, so to get 2 early wins, especially at home, really good sign for this Lakers squad.
Yeah, definitely. Both basketball teams off to a great start. Speaking of the men's basketball team, the Lakers traveled to Clarkson to face the Golden Knights on Tuesday. After being down 5 at halftime, the Lakers stormed back in the second half, scoring 54 points to secure an 80-72 victory. Joe Sullivan led the Lakers in this one with 25 points, while Caleb Cook contributed 20 of his own. Brian, What did we see from the Lakers in this one?
Well, like you said, great team effort for this team. And like you said, led the way by Joe Sullivan. But the big one that I want to focus on is Caleb Cook. Freshman guard, 20 points in 23 minutes played. That's phenomenal. That's a big step for the Lakers right now. If you can add that scoring into the mix, that's a great sign. Whole team as a whole, great day. Good shooting percentage, great from beyond the arc. And one of the biggest things, they got 10 steals on the day. That really leads to them getting into transition, which is huge for them. Let Liam Sanborn run that fast break. And that all leads back to Joe Sullivan. He was great last night. Like we said, 25 points. And, I think we'll see this number soon right here. 66% shooting, 4 rebounds. He was just great all night long.
Yeah, Joe Sullivan was fantastic. 25 points is something that, anybody would want out of any player. The Lakers, they went 20 for 28 shooting in that second half. That's just fantastic. That's definitely a recipe for success. Caleb Cook, like you said, 23 minutes, 20 points. That's extremely impressive. But overall, the Lakers have just, they've picked up where they left off from last year. They went 24-6 last year. They're 3-0 to start the season. It's nice to see they're getting contributions from everybody deep down the bench, not just the top 5 guys. Brandon Garland, Liam Sanborn, they weren't mentioned, but they had good games as well. Sanborn contributed 13 points. So overall, it's nice to see everybody contributing and everyone kind of moving the ball around to get wins.
Absolutely, 3-0, and on the road, all 3 wins. They won the tournament last weekend, too, to start off the season. Great start for this team. It may be early on in the season, but both the men's and women's basketball teams are already heating up. Will they be able to keep the momentum going this weekend? We'll preview those matchups and more. You're watching Laker Connections on WTOP 10. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Laker Connections. It's now time to take a look at the week ahead. Brian and I will break down the key matchups in Oswego State sports. Brian, why don't you start us off with some new HL action?
Absolutely. This weekend, the Lakers will take to the ice for 2 big games in the new HL, as they will host the SUNY Canton Kangaroos at home on Friday night, followed by a trip to the North Country to face off with the Potsdam Bears. So, Aaron, what's it going to take for this Lakers team to get 4 big points this weekend and possibly jump over the Bears for 4th place in the conference?
Yeah, these are 2 big conference games that you have to win. Canton has struggled so far this year. They're 0-1, new team to the new HL, so you definitely want to be able to get the win here. You're at home. Canton's also letting in 4 goals per game. This Laker offense, which has been much better this year, especially with the help of Aaron Stewart and Amber Thomas. Overall, just play your game of hockey. Excuse me. Don't kind of, move things around. I want to see more contributions from Amber Thomas, who is the new HL Player of the Week, and also Aaron Stewart, like I just said before, 9 assists. But then against Potsdam, excuse me, you see the team comparisons here. The Lakers, they're scoring 3 goals per game. Potsdam, very similar numbers, but that Potsdam defense is very good at 2.3 goals against per game. That's something that you want to look out for. But if you're the Lakers, just want to play your brand of hockey, you're at home. These are 2 big conference games that you have to win.
Absolutely, especially on Friday when you're at home against a struggling Kangaroos team. This is a team that, like we said, only scoring 1.4 goals per game. They're 0-4-1 right now. Great opportunity, especially after that tough tie that they took last week. A great opportunity for this team to bounce back. This is going to be a big game. And honestly, control things in the face-off circle. They did well with that last week. And Canton's another team that struggles in the face-off circle. Really great opportunity for this Oswego team to bounce back after that tough loss and get some momentum going into Potsdam. That's obviously going to be a little bit of a tougher matchup than Canton is, so we'll have to see how they react to that on the road, but a good opportunity, especially Friday night, to get a win. 2 big games for the Oswego State women's hockey team. But switching now to basketball, as the Oswego State women's team will look to continue their winning ways this weekend against the Alfred University Saxons. Last season, the Lakers fell 78-68 to the Saxons, despite Raven Encarnacion and Quincy Zimmerman tallying 16 points apiece. If they win this one, it will surpass their win total of 2 wins from last season. So, Brian, what can the Lakers do to, continue this winning streak? Well, look, right now this Lakers team is very good. Has very good offense in the post. Sydney Ure has been huge for this team this year. She's come up big, but they got to diversify the offense a little bit. I'd like to see them improve upon the 3-point shooting, and that starts with Taylor Torsha and Raven Encarnacion. They got to do a little bit of a better job spreading the ball around. When you do that, you spread the defense out, you create some more opportunities for yourself. You see their numbers from 3 so far this year. and they're not that great right now, just 3 for 17 and 3 for 20 respectively right now. They got to do a better job, and that's going to create many more opportunities in the post because you spread the defense out. The other team can't focus in on your and C in the post and down low. So really good opportunity for this team will present itself if they can spread the ball around.
Yeah, they have to spread the ball around. And in today's game of basketball, you want to be able to get everybody, going from everywhere, from beyond the arc and from the inside. Three-point shooting is such a big emphasis in today's game. But you want to win this game. Pinkerton wants to win this game. The girls want to win this game. Could you imagine if they're able to surpass, their wins totals this earlier in the year? Their second win last year didn't come until February. So this is a big game. Everybody wants to win this one. They're going out motivated. They're gonna go out. They're gonna score points. I want to see big points from Ur and C this weekend. Those are their two top scorers. They have to contribute if they want to win this game for sure.
Absolutely great opportunity for this women's basketball team. Switching now to the men's side of things, as the Lakers will look to continue their great start to the season when they visit the Nazareth Golden Flyers on Tuesday. Both teams will come into the matchup with records above 500 and look to make a statement with the win. So how do the Lakers get the win on the road in this tough matchup, Aaron?
Well, I think the Lakers, they just, need to keep doing what they've been doing. They're 3-0 on the road so far this year. They're not playing at home for a while, but they've been doing great on the road. I still expect big games from Brandon Garland. He kind of had an off game last game, only 6 points. He's supposed to be their leading scorer. Joe Sullivan overtook him, though, this week with that big 25-point game. He also needs to contribute. Just keep moving the ball around and get everybody involved. That's a recipe for success. The only thing that they really need to improve on is rebounding, and they're not even that bad. You see the team comparison here. This is a very good Nazareth defense. They're only allowing 64 points per game, but this Laker offense is so good. They're all shooting over 50%. That's a recipe for success. They can win this game, and they can improve to 4-0.
Yeah, really, it comes down to shooting for me. This team has been phenomenal shooting beyond the arc and within close range. They got to continue to do that, and this is big for this team. They're 3-0 right now. If they can get to 4-0 on the road, they don't return to the Max Zeal Gymnasium until January 10th when they play Fredonia, so getting wins on the road is a really big key for this team, especially early on.
Two big games for the basketball teams this weekend, but with the Oswego State hockey team in arguably their toughest part of the schedule, emotions were flaring this past weekend. But did too much emotion come back to haunt them? Brian and I will look inside the wheelhouse at the men's hockey team when we come back.
And welcome back to Laker Connections. It is now time to take a look inside the wheelhouse at the men's hockey team. Starting with last weekend as the Lakers hit their first setback of the season. Following a 4-1 win at home on Friday night against the Brockport Golden Eagles, the Lakers took to the road for a rematch of last season's SUNYAC championship game against the Geneseo Knights. It was a 9-1 loss for the Lakers as they surrendered 7 power play goals in the routing after taking 88 penalty minutes during the game. So, Aaron, what happened to the Lakers in this one?
First off, I do want to say they did beat Brockport, so they got to win. They got 2 points out of the weekend.
It was a good start. Went downhill from there.
But other than that, I don't know what other positives you can take out of this weekend. They scored in the power play twice. Actually, their first 2 power play goals of the year, so that's something to be positive about. But other than that, this Geneseo team, they just came out there firing. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Geneseo went 7 for 12 on the power play. That can't happen against any team, let alone Geneseo. That's not good at all. That's over 50%. That's definitely not something that you want. The penalty kill, with the power play goals, the penalty kill wasn't good. They just weren't disciplined. We had 4 ejections in this one.
At the end of the day, this is just an unacceptable game for the Lakers. At the end of the day, you don't want to say that, but it really is. This isn't a lack of talent thing for this team. They're very good. They were just undisciplined. They took way too many penalties. When you go down a man against this good of a team, it's just not going to work out. They came out. They were way too aggressive. They made some poor decisions and got themselves in trouble. Took way too many penalties. And like you said, 4 players getting ejected, that just can't happen. I understand it's a frustrating situation, especially when you fall behind early, but at the end of the day, you got to keep your cool in these big moments. And this just doesn't bode well, not only in this game, but down the road, because they're going to have a lot of big matchups coming up.
Listen, this was a tough first road game. Geneseo's number 2 in the country. It's a rematch of the SUNYAC championship. It's a ranked game. Geneseo made the Final Four appearance last year. Not a good game, but that cannot happen. What happened on Saturday cannot happen again.
Absolutely.
But now switching to this weekend, as the Lakers will face a team that knocked them out of the NCAA tournament last year in Hobart. While Oswego did win the regular season matchup 3-2 against the Statesmen. The Lakers are coming into this game reeling in a loss from Geneseo. In the latest USCHO poll, Oswego and their 4-1 record slid 3 spots to number 6. Hobart comes into this one with a similar record at 4-1 and ranked 4th in the poll. So, Brian, what can we expect out of this NCAA tournament rematch?
Well, look, at the end of the day, if the Lakers are looking for a bounce back after that Geneseo game, this is pretty much the perfect opportunity for them because this is a game they really want to win. But at the end of the day, you have to come in focused on execution more than they did last weekend. I think the focus can't be on, getting back at them for last year. You have to focus on getting a win in this game, and this is a huge game for this team. You look at last year's game, the Lakers really played better, but it was really good goalie play for Hobart that got the job done last year. At the end of the day, though, you got to score early for me. That's a big thing. If you can get out, you get those jitters out, and you forget about last weekend. That's the biggest thing. Score early, just forget about last weekend. And also think about it this way. You went 1-1 in the SUNYAC. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff to fix, but you went 1-1 in the SUNYAC. Shake it off, come out firing in this one, and go get yourself a big win in the national rankings.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I'm really interested to see how they bounce back after this one. You know they had a tough week in practice after giving up 88 penalty minutes. This is another ranked game, another rematch, and another road game. That's not exactly a recipe for success. But then again, I don't think it can get worse than 88 penalty minutes and a 9-1 loss. This is a game they kind of got to win. If they don't win this one, they could seriously not only fall in the poll, fall in the NCAA, bid for the tournament later this year. They have to come back strong in this one. They don't want to, go 0-2 against these ranked opponents. This is a really talented team. Really talented team. They can go out and win this one.
No doubt about it.
And now we are going to take a quick break, but before we do that, let's bring in our moderator, Brandon Ladd, to give us a quick preview of tonight's Lakers showdown. Brandon, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Aaron. After a tough weekend for both Lakers goaltenders, who should Coach Gosick be trusting in net against number 4 Hobart? That and more after the break. Welcome back to Laker Connections on WTOP 10. I'm your moderator, Brandon Ladd, and it's time for Lakers Showdown. With just 2 showdowns left, will this be the week that Aaron finally wins? Let's find out.
No, never.
Nope.
Never.
Nope.
Not at all.
As a reminder for our viewers, I'll ask the guys 3 questions about Lakers sports. They'll have 1 minute 30 seconds to debate. Whoever has the better argument with the point wins. Guys, are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it.
As Brian and Aaron talked about earlier in the show, the Lakers' goaltending has again become a concern. If you're Coach Gosick, are you still putting all your trust in Richer or giving Hansen the start against number 4 Hobart?
I mean, I'm going to start this off. I think it's got to be Richer. It's got to be Richer, man. First off, you got to give him a little bit of the break for Geneseo. The team was down. They gave up 7 power play goals in that one. I mean, come on. If you're not getting any help from your defense, how much can you expect from the man? You also need to take into account that he's been the one in all the big games the last 3 years, really. So this would be a tough situation to put Cedric Hansen in on the road against number 4 Hobart. I think you got to go with Richer because he's a little more experienced and he's been there for the big games. Also, you got to take into account, he's played pretty well so far this season. In his first 3 outings, just 4 goals allowed if you take out that Geneseo game. So it really, when he has help from his defense, he's really good.
I got to go with Hansen. Richer just did not look like himself out there. You look at the numbers, neither of them are all that fantastic. Hansen's obviously gotten a little bit less starts than Richer. But, we don't really know what's going on with Richer's leg that's been bothering him, and maybe that played a factor into the Geneseo game. Hansen's a very good goalie. Would be a starting goalie on a lot of other teams in the SUNYAC for sure.
True, but he's not because we got Richer here.
But we don't know what's going on with Richer's leg. It's not that I'm taking Richer's job away. I just think it would be a good opportunity to let Richer sit that one out, kind of let him brush it off a little bit.
I think a better opportunity next weekend.
But get Hansen in there, get him warm, because you just don't know what's going to happen out there. And I think a little shakeup would maybe, kind of revive the guys a little bit, kind of bring the energy up.
I think you got to stick with your guy.
I would go with Hansen. If I'm Coach Gosick,
the guy to go with. He's had more experience, and also I think it's worth taking into account. Hansen got into that Geneseo game again. He got 2 goals.
But Geneseo's offense was red hot.
And the point goes to Aaron. Richer was absolutely horrible against Geneseo. It's time to give Hansen a chance. Now on to the next question. In 2 seasons at Oswego, head coach Sean Pinkerton has just 9 career wins. The Lakers have already matched their win total from last season with 2. But guys, will the team double Pinkerton's career win total at Oswego and reach 9 wins, or even the elusive double digits?
I don't think so. And
What?
the reason is they're
Come on.
better for sure.
They're 500 already.
There's no doubt they're
Come
better.
on, man.
Well, Canton scoring under 30 points a game.
All right, well-
That's not exactly. They can beat that team. They have enough talent to do that. But no Samantha Britton, who was their leading scorer last year. No Amanda Altis, who played a huge role in rebounding and contributed a number of scoring for them. Uri's great, but she can't
She's
do
a
everything.
huge addition to this team.
She can't do everything.
This is
Their
a very
wins
much
this year,
improved
like I said,
team.
come against Canton and come against the Morrisville team that's very middle of the road, kind of like Oswego. And they've got, I don't know if they're better than everyone in the SUNYAC. You look at Sean Pinkerton's wins here. They haven't exactly proven that they can get to that double-digit
Yeah, but
mark
look, they
or
already
9
matched
wins.
the total. They're 2-2 right now. They're playing good basketball right now. Sydney Uri's a huge addition for this team right now. She's huge, and honestly, I do think that they can get the three-point rolling. We saw Torsha get things going. Yeah, 2 days ago. Yeah, excuse me. And then we saw Encarnacion get things rolling.
But I don't
this
think they're
weekend
better
against
than
Morrisville.
I don't think they're better than really
I think
anybody
they can
in the
find ways to
SUNYAC.
win.
And
I
they got
really
to play
do. I
those
think
teams
they're a
at
good enough
least
team to
twice.
get
That's
going.
18 games right there. An 8-game
I think they can
improvement.
take something. I think they can
a
get it going.
7 to 8 game improvement is a lot for a team by just bringing in one player
think they have
and
enough
losing
talent.
2 of their leading scorers
Well, I think
last
it's more
year.
than just bringing in one player. They're also developing these players as they go. There's a much improved team. I think C has been playing far better than she did last season. I think that they're just a very improved team.
Ur
right
can't
now.
carry this team all the way to 9 victories.
And the point's going to go to Brian. You got to believe this is going to be a better team this year. Now, moving on to the last question. Through their first 3 games of the season, Joe Sullivan and Brandon Gartland rank as Oswego's top 2 scorers, with Sullivan averaging 16.3 points per game and Gartland averaging 15. Which of these 2 seniors do you think will claim the Lakers scoring title?
I'm going to go with Joe Sullivan right now. I think he is their leading scorer right now. I think he's just been a better player for them overall. He came up huge last year in the NCAA tournament when they had their games, and in the SUNYAC tournament. He's been huge for them so far this year. He won the MVP of the Elmira tip-off tournament, leading this team to those 2 victories. He led the team to their 3rd victory a couple days ago. I think he's just a really good all-around player. I think he can play inside, he can play outside. I think he's a little more versatile than Gartland is right now.
You're right.
I think he's going to get that scoring
Joe
title.
Sullivan is a very versatile player, which is exactly why Brandon Gartland is going to lead this team in scoring. Without Quinn Carey and Tyler Pierre, you look at the numbers right here. And Brandon Gartland, before the other night, when he had 6 points, he was averaging 19.5 points per game. That was more by far. And Joe Sullivan obviously had a great game. So those numbers a little bit inflated. But Garland is a pure scorer. Tyler Pierre and Quinn Carey led this team in scoring last year. They were, pure scorers. I wouldn't say Tyler Pierre is a pure scorer because he did a little bit of everything. But Brandon Gartland, he is a pure scorer. They are going to need him on offense down the stretch. Joel Sullivan is going to be more of a utility man. They're going to need him on defense.
Utility?
They're
he leads
gonna,
the team in points right now. How are you going to call him a utility?
He just had a
man?
25-point game
which is good.
after 2 games, and the first 2 games he was averaging
He won
12.
the MVP of the tip-off
course,
tournament. How
of
is he
course
not gonna
those
be a
numbers
really
are going to
good
be
player?
inflated.
How is he not going to be
Brandon
that man?
Gartland is capable of
You
scoring
can't
20
just rely
points
on
per
him
game.
outside
We're
on the
3
perimeter.
games into
he
the
has one
season.
bad shooting game, and then all of a sudden his numbers are
We're
down.
3 games
You
into
look
the
at this team.
season, and Brandon Gartland has
Sullivan
proven that he
shoots
is
just
capable
as
of
well
shooting.
from the perimeter, and he scores
No,
more
he does
efficiently.
not.
early.
Garland is a
Look at
way
the numbers.
better
Look
out.
at the numbers.
Three
They're
right there.
And in maybe the most shocking moment in all of Laker Connections history, Aaron Valentino is our winner this week.
In the words of Gary
Oh, my
Cohen,
goodness.
it has happened.
Oh, by
It's beautiful.
some miracle.
It's a beautiful
By
thing. I
some
really
miracle.
didn't think. I
Oh,
really.
my goodness.
Yeah,
What?
12 to 1. I love it.
What?
Wow, look at it.
12 to 1.
I
What
really
is
did.
this?
I was told.
What is this scoring
I
right
was
now?
told. I was told it wasn't going to happen this week. I was told by many people.
Well,
I thought I
'cause
had
I'm
it
the
last
man.
week.
I'm the
Last week
man.
was my week to win. But seriously though, Brandon Gartland is a pure scorer.
I
In all
don't know,
seriousness, he can definitely. He's totally capable of averaging.
Well, I'm not
20
saying
points
he's
per
not
game.
capable of it. I think Joe Sullivan's just a little better.
I mean,
I really do.
But overall, I would like to thank a couple people. Can we get the camera on me, please? Camera 3. Can we take camera 3, Sandro, please? Thank you. I'd like to thank Lizzie. She's always supported me throughout this entire process. I'd like to thank Brandon Ladd for moderating tonight. I don't want to thank Kevin Bennett, but that is all the time we have for tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 6:45 for Hockey Night in Oswego when the Canton Kangaroos face off against the Oswego State Lakers. Brandon Ladd, Brian Rudman, and our entire crew at WTOP 10. Marin Valentino, have a great night.